You've mentioned how you're going to do a Bisping for this fight. I remember when he fought Rockhold, he said, oh, the lack of notice meant he couldn't overthink it. Are you feeling the same way?
Exactly the same. Exactly the same, honestly. Usually with like a 10-week fight camp, I've got so much time to like, it's like just a massive build-up, whereas this time, especially because I didn't have my visa, that took a lot as well. So I didn't train, didn't have my visa, and I was just scrambling around like last minute, and before you know it, they just throw me into New York. I'm here, don't even have time to think about the fight. So I think it's working to my advantage so far, but obviously I've not fought yet. So we'll see. We'll see, mate, Saturday night.
Obviously, I believe you were preparing to be a backup for this card for Jon Jones Stipe, but now you're fighting in the co-main event for an interim title. So I'm curious, can you walk us through the call when you got the call from the UFC, and what was the time frame of saying yes and them announcing the fight?
Здравствуйте всем. Ну, конечно, тренировался. После второй тренировки мы гуляли по парку. Мне позвонил мой менеджер Али и вот сказал мне такую замечательную новость. Я сразу согласился.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Nice to see everybody. Yes, I was training. This was my second practice in the day, and after the second practice, I went out to the park just to take a stroll. And my manager Ali called me, and he said, "I got great news. Here it is." And I didn't think much. I just said yes.
What are you expecting? Everyone's talking about he's very dangerous early on. So are you. So maybe the tactic should be, oh, let's take him into deep waters and see how he does there. Or do you rely on your own ability to get them out of there early and just be aggressive from the opening bell?
I don't know. I think it's heavyweight MMA. You got to see what happens. He's a very, very dangerous guy, as am I. And yeah, mate, I'm just focused on going in there and enjoying it. Like, this is my absolute dream, fighting in Madison Square Garden, heavyweight title. Pavlovich, like, everything is coming together, and I'm just going to go out there and do my thing and enjoy it.
What does it mean to fight in Madison Square Garden?
Can we switch it to someone who doesn't ask shit questions, please?
Oh, that's very mean.
No, it's pretty, obviously, it's amazing. It's amazing. I would rather fight in Madison Square Garden than anywhere else in the world, so very excited about it.
Tom was in here, and he said he wasn't really in full camp. He was, helping teammates out, and he wished he had a full camp to prepare for you. So I'm curious, is it an advantage for you knowing that, yes, you weren't preparing to fight Tom specifically, but you were kind of going through a camp to prepare as a backup?
Ты знаешь, я думаю, тут нельзя недооценивать. Нужно соперника воспринимать полностью, поэтому нет такого, что там какая-то недооценка. Полностью готовимся, полностью настраиваемся на бой, поэтому все очень серьезно.
I don't think you can take an opponent lightly. I don't think I'm underestimating him in any way. We were prepared. We were prepared for anybody. We were prepared really hard. So everything's serious. Everything's 100%.
And what did you make of Sergei's last fight? Because when he fought Curtis Blades, a lot of people seemed surprised that Curtis wasn't shooting for takedowns. But I guess if you watch that fight back, Curtis was landing a lot of strikes. Sergei was just kind of walking through them and walking through Curtis's power. So what did you make of his last performance?
Yeah, I mean, I was also surprised that he wasn't going for takedowns, but like you say, he did have a lot of success just with, he was landing, so maybe he believed that one of them was going to land and put his lights out, do you know what I mean? So maybe he just got a little bit, I wouldn't say greedy, but he just got, he was having success, so he was just sticking with that, so I wasn't too surprised, I guess.
Did you have to change your camp much at all, or did you have even time to bring in new training partners or anything to prepare for someone like Tom?
Да, нужно было поменять некоторые моменты. В принципе, по спарринг-партнеров у нас в зале очень много, поэтому не нужно было приводить. Всего хватало.
Yeah, a couple of things did have to be adjusted, but when it comes to sparring partners, we have a lot of different people in the gym, so we had plenty of people that we could substitute.
Tom was in here, and he said that he doesn't think you've ever faced someone like him that has the same movement and speed as him. So I'm curious, when you look at Tom, what do you make of his skill set and the movement that he brings up?
Ну, говорить можно все, что угодно. Мы посмотрим.
I can say whatever you want, but we'll just see.
I know a lot of fans are obviously excited for Jon Jones and Stipe, but it seems like in terms of an actual competitive fight, they seem more interested in you and Sergei because you're two new names to the top of the heavyweight division. You have the record for shortest fight time and everything. So have you got a sense of that these hardcore fight fans seem more intrigued by this fight than the original main event?
I don't know, because I've not been looking on social media, to be honest. I'm just staying away from all that. I've had a really, really short time. I've basically not had time to prepare, let's be honest. 2 weeks isn't long enough to prepare for a fight. But, yeah, any distractions or I'm just not into that. Other people's opinions are other people's opinions, and I just stay away from that shit, to be honest. I'm doing my own thing. I'm here to win, of course, and I'm not letting anyone's opinions or whatever sidetrack me. Like, that's their business, and let them do their thing.
The final one for me, a lot of fans were very excited for John versus Stipe, but it seems the diehard fans are much more interested in your fight because you and Tom are on these long win streaks. You're relatively young in your career and you're in the prime of your career. So I'm curious if that's reached you, the amount of interest that this fight specifically has brought again.
Я, честно сказать, не знаю, какой больше ожидает бой, но я думаю, будет это очень интересный бой. Очень зрелищный, потому что здесь будет настоящая война.
You know, I can't really tell you which fight the fans are more excited about, us or them, but the fact is, I can tell you this is going to be a really exciting, really fun fight because it's going to be a real war.
And the odds are seemingly stacked against you. I mean, taking this fight on 2 weeks' notice is defying the odds something that you're relishing, that prospect?
I like that. I like it a lot, to be honest. I'm fighting the scariest guy in MMA, in my opinion, in the worst circumstances possible without a training camp. But I obviously think I can win. Like, I'm not the kind of guy who shows up for money or who, you know, I ain't signing a contract and showing up if I don't think I'm going to win. Like, I truly, truly believe that I can win on Saturday night and that I'm going to win. I'm an absolute winner and I'll find a way to win, no matter what the circumstances. So, yeah, the odds are definitely stacked against me, and it'll be even better when I win the title on Saturday night.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
Sergey, over here. Before your last fight with Curtis Blades, there was a pretty viral video of you playing slots in a casino in Vegas before your fight that went around. Just kind of curious, are you a big gambler? Are you a slots guy? What's the story there?
Нет, первый раз играл, поэтому не увлекаюсь.
No, that was my first time, so I'm not like a general gambler or anything.
Yeah, did you win or did you lose?
Выиграл, проиграл.
Сначала выиграл, потом все, что выиграл, проиграл.
First went up, and then everything that I got, lost all of it.
That's the story of it all, man. Appreciate it.
Вот так всегда история была.
And you have been matched up with Sergei before in the past. Obviously, they did, you know, those fights didn't happen. Did that give any advantage in terms of obviously the short preparation that you've had?
I don't know, because it was a couple of years ago now I was supposed to fight him. Like, the last time I was supposed to fight him, and I think we've both evolved so much, especially I think I've improved a lot since then. You know, I know his style and his tendencies and stuff, but the guy's straight up dangerous. I'm not even going to like beat around the bush and bullshit it. Like, the guy is really, really dangerous if you play his game. So I kind of know what to expect, but I've had a lot of fights at this point, and it doesn't always work out the way you think it's going to work out watching it on TV and then stepping in there in front of 20,000 people and millions around the world. It doesn't always work out like you imagine in your mind. So I think I know what I'm up against, but I don't really know until I step in there on Saturday.
Tom was in here earlier and he's repeatedly called you the scariest guy in the division. I'm just wondering what you make of that characterization.
По этому поводу думаешь?
Спасибо ему.
Thank you very much, Tom.
And how would you describe him? One word.
Одним.
One word.
Я скажу пару. Крепкий парень.
I'll say a couple of words. Tough dude.
And you've never made it into the third round, so are you anticipating that this could go the distance? And how have you been preparing yourself physically for that?
I mean, I don't want it to go into the third round. If I can knock him out with the first punch, I will do. Do you know what I mean? If I can take him down and submit him in 30 seconds, I definitely will do that as well. But if I've got to go 5 or 3 or whatever, like, I'm happy with that as well. Like, I'm pretty prepared. I was keeping my body in decent shape. Ideally, I would have liked 10 weeks, but I've not had that, obviously. But I'm a professional athlete and I take my job very serious, so I'm always in decent shape.
And you've said in the past that there's been some aspects of your game that you haven't been able to show yet because of the short octagon time. So do you think we see a different Tom Aspinall on Saturday? Oh,
there's a million things I've not had a chance to show, but on the other hand, there's probably a million things that he's not had a chance to show as well. He's got really short octagon time as well. The same as that goes for every UFC athlete, MMA athlete. Like, we get 15 minutes, 25 minutes to show everything we can do. It's not long enough. So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff there that I've got to show him that he's never seen before, and I'm sure he's got a lot of stuff to show me that I've never seen before from him. So,
Aspinall brings a different style. Can you just describe what makes him a tough challenge on the feet?
Если мы посмотрим всех моих последних оппонентов, это, в принципе, все разного стиля ребята и очень крепкие ребята. Том такой же крепкий парень, который, скажем так, это очередная ступень, которая передо мной. Поэтому мы делаем работу, мы, скажем так, трудимся, мы прекрасно понимаем, что нас ждет впереди, и мы готовы ко всему.
You know, if you look or if Tom looks at my previous opponents, they're all tough, durable, strong guys. And so I think now Tom is the next step in front of me. He's the next step that I have to take to get further there. So if you look at me, if you look at what I do, we do hard work, we train hard to make sure that we achieve that next goal.
And where do you think you have an advantage in this matchup, and what are the biggest keys for you to get the victory?
Ты знаешь, что-то сейчас сидеть и болтать языком не имеет смысла. Я знаю одно, что я готов к этому бою на все 100%. Я проделал большую работу. Я готовился к ребятам, которые являются легендами этого спорта. Сейчас я здесь нахожусь. Осталось немного времени, когда закроется клетка, и там мы посмотрим.
You know, it doesn't make sense for me to sit here and mince words and tell you what I'm going to do, what I'm not going to do. The only thing I can say is that I'm 100% prepared. I was prepared for the guys that are considered legends in the sport. So the only thing that separates me now is a little bit of time until we get there on Saturday. The cage will close behind me, and then we'll see what happens.